27 News, WKOW. Here's what's happening right now.
We love you, Emily.
In their own words, Boys and Girls Club volunteers arrived back in Madison, and with them tonight, some Wisconsinites forced out of their homes by Harvey's floodwaters. New at 6, their emotional stories of survival. And extreme makeover. In less than 24 hours, thousands of kids head back to class. The big changes for one local school and what students can expect on day one.
We've got you covered. This is 27 News at 6.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Amber Dog. Well, Greg is off tonight. It has been 12 days since Hurricane Harvey made landfall along the Texas Gulf Coast, and tonight cleanup efforts are underway in a process that will take years to fully recover. Donations are pouring in from all over the country, even here in Wisconsin. A group of volunteers with the Boys and Girls Club of Dane County are back home tonight after a 4-day-long trip, helping out with Harvey relief efforts in Texas. Along with them were several families from Wisconsin whose homes were destroyed by flooding. New at 6, Nick Buffo was there as they arrived in Madison and tells us how one family almost didn't make it out alive.
Arriving back home to a crowd of cheers. Boys and Girls Club of Dane County CEO Michael Johnson and many others were welcomed with love.
Thank you.
Among them was Betty Thomas, who Johnson brought back to Madison from Port Arthur, Texas.
We just thankful that they came and got us.
Thomas's home was destroyed by floodwaters from Harvey.
And it was scary in that water. It really was, y'all. Because all I could think of was snakes and alligators, because we got a lot of them down there.
Her daughter Sonia Jordan came along as well. The two plan to stay with family in Wisconsin.
I love every one of y'all that helped us get here. I appreciate y'all help.
Along with rescuing affected families, Johnson and his team donated thousands of items to a local Boys and Girls Club in Austin.
The Austin Area Relief Network, that this was the largest gift of donations that they had received since Hurricane Harvey happened.
As Johnson addressed the crowd, he mentioned their trip was more than just a Boys and Girls Club, but rather a county-wide effort.
Thank you to everybody in Wisconsin, all the volunteers.
As the group decompresses from their long trip, this family is thankful to be alive. In Madison, Nick Buffo, 27 News.
Johnson says the Boys and Girls Club of Dane County is still accepting donations to help those affected by Harvey. Dozens of shelter dogs from Houston have arrived in Wisconsin looking for new homes. They landed in Waukesha just after noon today. The dogs were being housed at shelters in Texas when the hurricane hit. The Humane Animal Welfare Society, or HAWS, put out a call for foster homes last week and has already received more than 200 responses. And while the aid continues, authorities in Houston are helping to keep their streets safe. Since the storm, there have been dozens of arrests for looting. Houston police officers are working 12-hour shifts with no days off as they try to protect local businesses and homes. Tonight at 10, our Hunter Signs follows HPD during their looting patrol for a story you'll see only on 27 News.
Clouds departed for a little while today. We started and ended the day with them, though, and you can see to the north and west that there are a few showers making their way south and east of Eau Claire toward La Crosse, and they will certainly affect parts of the northern viewing area. All of us could see a couple of spotty showers as we go throughout, especially the mid-evening hours, I think between 8 and 10 or 8 and 11 before they're all done. There's Futurecast as of 7 p.m. working their way toward us, and you can see a few of them crossing the area. And then look, 10:30 already basically out of here. There are your weather cameras out there right now. We have a mix of clouds and sunshine, kind of hazy out there at the present time. Temperatures upper 60s and lower 70s. We've only made it to 74 in Madison today, and not much of a spread with more of the cloud cover. It's 6:25 sunrise and 7:26 sunset. Our evening planner takes us down to 52. We will see a few scattered showers and then cooler weather on the offing for sure as we get into tomorrow and Wednesday. As the kids head back to school.
Yeah, fall sets in just in time.
Got it.
Thanks, Brian. New at 6, within the last 30 minutes, we've learned the name of the teenager who died in a crash in Dane County. The medical examiner's office says he is 16-year-old Michael Neal of Madison. Neal's car hit a tree around 9:30 last night on Rhino Road between Madison and Sun Prairie. The Wisconsin State Legislature's Budget Committee is expected to reconvene this week to hammer out a long overdue 2-year state budget. Voting could begin as early as tomorrow and include imposing new fees on electric vehicle owners, as well as changes to Foxconn's $3 billion incentive plan. The sticking point for the budget, though, will be getting Republicans to agree on a solution to a $1 billion transportation funding gap. A partnership between Wisconsin and Minnesota DOT is aiming to bring a second train to the tracks between St. Paul and Chicago. The route would help connect cities across the region in a way that hasn't been done before. About 1/4 of train passengers between Seattle and Chicago get on or off between Chicago and St. Paul. An informational meeting with the Minnesota DOT will be held on Wednesday. Also looking ahead, Madison's Urban Design Commission is set to meet Wednesday to present reworked design plans of a previously submitted building design plan. According to the Wisconsin State Journal, the plans are to turn Madison Area Technical College's downtown campus into a hotel and multipurpose building. MATC officials plan to move operations to the Truax campus on the north side and a future facility on the south side by the end of 2018. In less than 24 hours, a new school year begins in Dane County, and kids at one school will be welcomed by some pretty big changes. New at 6, David Johnson joins us live from Windsor Elementary with what improvements are being made. David?
Amber, there are larger classrooms, there's a new library, there's a new gym, plus there's a brand new playground, and those are just some of the improvements made to the revamped elementary school.
I like my teachers.
Students at Windsor Elementary School will see big changes when they head back to class Tuesday, and parents like Amy and Ed Emicus are excited about it.
What I like about this school, as far as what I've seen so far, is each grade level has a community space, which provides the teachers themselves some flexibility in how they are instructing children.
With the addition of a new building, the school will nearly double in size.
Definitely a different feel in the classrooms, larger space. Most of the classrooms now have, I think all the classrooms I've seen have windows, which is great.
Village board member Don Manlung says Windsor had additional property which provided the opportunity for expansion.
Since it was pretty much the center of the population, both for Windsor and DeForest and the surrounding areas.
Because of growth in the district, the school will be close to capacity when it opens.
I venture to say that there had to be at least a good 25% growth over the last couple of years.
When Sebastian was a kindergartner, I believe there were 6 classes of 20 children, and so the size of the class wasn't an issue, but just having 6, I mean, it was a lot, and then to fit that in the old schools, the constraints of the old school was kind of crazy.
The other gym was a little, it was smaller than the other gym.
While the new building has all types of new features, it's the new playground that Amy and Ed's son Sebastian is most excited about.
Oh yeah, I love the playground. It's so big.
Another improvement is this brand new parking lot, which would allow parents to pick up and drop off their kids without competing with the school buses. Now, the expansion is part of a $41 million referendum back in 2015, and it took about 1.5 to 2 years to complete. Reporting live in Windsor, David Johnson, 27 News.
Great way to start the year. David, thank you. Coming up, a look back at Labor Day's past and the life of a beloved entertainer we lost earlier this year. New at 6, the history behind the Jerry Lewis MDA telethon. And Wisconsin cops opened fire, killing a man. Tonight, what the victim's family said happened seconds before it all went down.